Okay, we live. All right, there we go. Um, basically, actually at Walmart, buy me a charger, but that's not the mains of this stream. Was actually on Gold Professor channel over there, and he was talking about happiness, and this is some stuff that I was wanting to actually go over last night, but man, I was dead tired. Man, I got home, looked at the computer. Uh, Weekend was long. I'm just gonna say the least. I had a lot of stuff to do this weekend. So far as my channel, I kind of neglected it a little bit, man. Yeah, real bad. Cause when it came down to it, I got into a lot of work this weekend, so couldn't really do too much. I was, forced to pretty much just do what I need, the bare minimum, and getting stuff done. And from that, it was just pretty much over. Actually in Walmart buying a charger because for some odd reason I can't find my charger. And I'm thinking about getting this Bluetooth for my radio on my truck. So if I want to listen to YouTube without touching the actual phone, just listen through, I'm good. But yeah, I mean, the guarantee, you know, it's funny. I was talking to Charles last night on Sir Badiah's channel. Shout out to Sir. He's moving around in the space. As I would say, he's coming back into it more or less, mainstream, coming back in and jumping out like he was from the first Manosphere days with him and Wacky and all the other guys. Shout out to those guys for what they did and how they started things. But coming down to this topic right here, man, like I said, it's kind of funny because when it come down to it, people want guarantees in life, man. Whether it be, just a marriage, whether it be, just anything. I mean, as far as a job, making money. Most people go to college thinking the guarantee of, coming out, having a business be successful for them, what they're doing. They think that, if they put in the time, that pretty much everything will serve its purpose for them, you know. And that's not always true. I know people who went to school for design. I know people went to school for business. A couple of them, they seen that it wasn't working, so they end up going into business for themselves, which they went to school for art, but you have a construction business or you have a moving business. You might have guys that I knew that went in for accounting and they're driving trucks. So, you know, when it boils down to it, it's just real funny how the situation is. Well, we all think that we're going to get a guarantee by going to college. Same thing in marriage. Most guys sit there, and women too. They have a thought of guarantee to where if they get married, pretty much it guarantees them in a position of actually, I guess you could say picking a soulmate or, finding that one that loved them forever. You know, um, the funny thing that kills me, I talk about this a lot, that a lot of people are not vetting the women that they're with. Oh, Jazzy, what's going on? Hey, people. Swoop, like me. Go Professor Toya. See y'all coming in. I actually got the phone in my pocket while I'm talking. So, like I said, I'm in Walmart shopping. But yeah, when it come down to it, it's funny. People who generally get married will sit there and think that it's a guarantee for them just because they got married that they'll be with their soulmate and ultimately deal with that person forever. They won't cheat on them. It's not the case, but that's the thought pattern. That in which most people feel that entitlement coming in for them that as long as I do what I'm supposed to do, the other person's gonna do what they supposed to do. And generally not being so true, but people hope and trying to get this money together. People hope that towards the end, all the stuff will come through like that. Oh snap! That was my car right there. But people generally think, yeah, I lost my car this weekend. Long story about that too. Just found it in another part of my wallet. I had to lock my card up and everything. But yeah, man. I mean, it's funny how when a person get married, they ultimately. Yeah, can you hear me now? Yeah, my Bluetooth actually just went dead. Leave a Walmart. That's why I actually went and got this charger. Now I'm gonna have to go to my truck and charge my Bluetooth. I should just buy another cord for this because I'm already here. But yeah, I mean it's crazy though. You'll sit here and go ahead and get mad with the intent of that person being there and not doing certain things that you don't want them to do. But the funny part is, I mean, you don't talk about that. It's like almost unspoken rules when it comes to some of these things in relationships that people are not talking about because they more or less they think that people are supposed to be, doing this like this is supposed to be a normal thing for people to not cheat and, if possible, not to, be in certain relationships like that. And it amazes me how a lot of people just generally think that as long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, they're gonna do what they're supposed to do, and everybody's gonna be fine. But like I said, technically, that's not always the case. And it's funny that you get a lot of people with that impression, in which, you know, and I'm stumbling over my words, trying to hurry up and do this, get out the store. Oh, sorry about that. Bear with me a minute. All right. Yeah. So, like I said, it's just more or less with the intent of as long as I get this person, everything's going more or less. Like I said, as long as I get this person and we establish, the point of being married, that everything is going to work itself out. Nobody's talking about, what are we gonna do when we get married? Do you want to stay together long term? If you're not asking these questions, you actually can't get married. We don't get what you want out the relationship because you generally got what you wanted out. You got married. As far as a lot of people looking at this, is what I basically want to touch on more or less just the marriage aspect. I mean, because even with the kids, people generally be like, these are gonna always be my kids. Fact, these are gonna always be your kids. But the point of it is, you're not looking at with your kids as they get older. They typically change up. You have kids that live with their parents, been with their parents for years, and the crazy part when it boils down to it, one little thing that parent could have did wrong in their life, and they basically condemned them. I've seen it in my family, cousins and stuff like that, to where they have kids, their mothers, pretty much deal with them in a certain manner. To the mother could do no wrong. The father always been this type of guy that was too stern and always implemented discipline. So when you get that sense of freedom to where you can do what you want to do, you're not studying that guy no more. You focus on, being with a fun parent because
That's the way most parents actually win these kids, by being so fun and getting to the point where these kids, preferably they thinking that the fun parent is always the best parent. And to me, that's not true. I mean, because when I was young, I used to always think that the parent that was more disciplined and kind of implemented certain things, I didn't like that within them, because why are you trying to knock my fun? I want to go play. You telling me I need to study. I want to go have fun like all the other kids, but you're telling me to hit the books. And in return, as you get older, that's when you start understanding that the older I'm getting and all this stuff that I'm doing, it's actually not Can you hear me? Man, bro, I tell you about this new phone I got, man. This thing suck. It's just said the internet was messed up for some reason. I mean, goodness. Yeah, but back to what I was saying, man. It's funny how you'll sit there and think your kids will be guaranteed to. I mean, they'll always be your kids no matter what. But the choice of them on loving you and kind of being there for you, that's solely up to them. There's no guarantee that your child is gonna be there for you when you get old. You can ask most of these other older people how they're in nursing homes right now, and none of the kids go to see them due to the fact what's going on, sir. Start highlighting comments like I said I usually do, to where I kind of just keep it flowing and everything. But yeah, it's funny that a lot of people look at their kids and thinking that their kids gonna take care of them when they get old. But the point is, as that child grows up, no matter what you did for them, it's always like, I used to work at this job, and my job always told me, you're only good as the last thing you've done for us. So I could have got them out of pensions, saved them lots of money, and in the end, they can fire me only because I didn't pick up a piece of trash out in front of the building, which they think that makes the building look bad. You know, they could fire me that I was 5 minutes late, but 2 years ago I probably saved them $10,000 on this process I seen that they were doing. They were spending more money, or I seen something that within the company that we can cut corners by adding three more people to this one position, which they would have to pay more money, but it puts out better productivity for the company. There's certain little things that, yeah, they'll spend a little more money, but the amount of money that they're going to be gaining in that process, if I'm in a warehouse position, it comes like that. There's no guarantee on that. I'm not guaranteed this job. I can get booted just like any. I mean, you got CEOs of company. Look at Papa John's. You know, guy started a company, end up ultimately had to step down because of his racist comments was hurting the company brand. I mean, of course, he still get money from the company. Have to be in the shadows more or less out in the open like he normally was. But it's just when it boils down, none of that stuff is guaranteed. It's getting to the point where nothing is guaranteed, you know. And like I said, even with marriage, man, guys want guaranteed marriage, in which, if I get married, my wife is gonna be there forever. No. I've told guys, not no shade to my wife, but my wife can leave me at any given time. Who goes to say she's reliable? Like I was saying, I was on Sir Badiah channel with Charles yesterday, and we was talking about that. There's no guarantee in this marriage that if you're getting married, it's pretty much you looking at the pros and cons of this. Yeah, she'll divorce you, take all your money. You're ultimately building wealth over the years, and she could be building too. She's working, so both of you guys are actually building some type of foundation, building money and stuff like that. In the end, she cheats, you cheat, or you just don't even like each other no more. You know, The easiest part is just getting divorced and walking away. Most people, the older people, they hated each other, but they still stayed around each other. I know an old couple now, man. This dude and his wife, man. I was over there one day, and I was actually doing some stuff with the guy, and he just unloaded on his wife, man. Just like rah, just going in on her. And she was going in on him. She was, the women always try to hit below the belt. Trying to, try to shout out your manhood. So that was a conversation, and he was like, "So I don't care," and she had no rebuttal. And he was like, "Yeah, you thought that hurt me, didn't you?" Nope. And like no rebuttal. Because I mean, it was nothing else he could really do. The guy made money. The guy was good and successful at what he does. I mean, both of them were actually successful, but it gets to the point where you start throwing like when you get into a point where you don't like someone, you're just gonna start throwing everything to stick to the wall. You hate them. You hate the kids. You hate that you had kids with them if they had outside kids, and if you had kids with them, you hate them for bringing a child that was bad into the world. It's all kind of stuff that they can throw at each other to some stick. You hate the parents. You know, it just it's crazy. So when you look at trying to have a guarantee, I mean, it's rough. You just have to come into a relationship. I mean, vetting process is one of the biggest things that I always push, but still, you'll never know. The point of it is, if you're going to gain some type of wealth, man, ultimately, it's better when you're doing it with two people. I mean, being honest, yeah, she takes half of your money. It's a 50-50 on that. But the point of it is, when you're going into that relationship and she'll sit there and have, 50,000, you have 50,000, together, you guys make 100,000. You know, you have 100,000, she got 80,000. Together, you guys both make 180,000. Be in the process. If you by yourself, let's say you got a 50,000, $200,000 house, you paying somewhere around 1,500, something like that a month on the house. Uh, you're sitting there with one income, and let's say you're pushing out, let's say $4,000 a month. You're making 1,000 a week. You know, 1,500 going to the house, five going to the car insurance. You got another five going into the one car because you're by yourself. So that's what 2,500 right there. You got another five on the utilities and stuff like that, just regular utilities. That's another five. That's three. And then you got 1,000. Then you say you got another little miscellaneous like cable bills or something like that. Let's just say five to that. You pushing right there, even with groceries added on. You pushing right there with 3,500. So that leaves you a total of $500 a month to play with. Whether you want got your little drinking habit, smoking habit, you know, all these little things, just puffing it up. But you got $500 a month to play with. But in the sense that you're married, you make 1,000 a week. Your wife, she makes 800 a week. Let's just say she make 500 a week. 500 a week. You make four, she make two a month. So essentially, you got $6,000 coming in. Even if you add another car onto that insurance, you looking to push yourself about with another wife. Let's just say another extra 1,000 onto what you already had. So this is at 35. So now you're at 45. You're at 45. Then you fluff it up, throw a little extra 500 on there. So you essentially you, you dug it at 5,000. You still got 1,000 to play with amongst two people. And let's say you push in a little small here and there work, cool, you good. But essentially, you by yourself, you gotta risk, of you losing your job, you lose the house. In some cases, with most families, even if you married, you lose your job, you'll still lose the house. But the point of it is having someone there to, kind of give you a little cushion to where you can kind of shuffle around a little money till you get back on track. But the whole part is that it's saving. You have a little extra. Don't buy all out. Go ahead and start saving a little bit, man. You don't want to get kicked out your house because you're not, pushing in. What's going on, Rain? Pastor? But when it going down to it, you want to have that cushion. Saving is key. You know, being able to budget your money is another thing that, is real big in the community. We should be focusing on budgeting money. You know, a lot of guys, they'll go, ball out because they got it, but longevity is the key, man. Thinking about what you're gonna do a couple of years from now. You might not always have this good paying job. You might end up get fired for something stupid. I know a guy end up having a $80,000 job, got let go because the manager wanted to mess with him. Ultimately, he was having sex with the manager, got into it with the manager. She let him go. He could have retaliated, but he wasn't supposed to be messing with her anyway. And it was something stupid on his part for doing, so he dug his own ditch. Then turn around, you know, he got another job, paid 80,000, more than what he was already paying. Lost that job because he didn't want to do a little favor for the manager. And after that, he got kicked up under the bus. So you never know with these jobs, man. You up and down. None is the biggest thing. None guaranteed. Whether it be in a marriage, whether it be a job, you just got to go about things a certain way. You don't have a guarantee when it comes to certain issues within the family and all that. So it's like, what are we looking at to try to get married, stay in these relationships with these potential, like most guys say, the whores? Because I mean, technically speaking, if you dealing with a woman on the premise of how she looks, that's what goes on. Go, Professor. Come on now, cut that out. But when you're dealing with a woman for the looks, you got to take everything that comes with it. You know, that situation with the Tampa Supreme on his channel. Shout out to him. He had did a view on Drake messing with some IG model that was in a relationship with this dude for like 8 years. And I'm like, come on, man. The girl was in a relationship for 8 years. I mean, a fiance for 8 years to this guy. Why you didn't marry her? I mean, that's 10 years. You know how long 10 years, damn near, even 8 years. 8 years is a long time. Somebody that's 20, be with a person for going on 10 years, you 30. You don't get that youth back. And seeing that, a lot of men talk about, and the women know that their biological clock is ticking. This guy took 8 years off her life, and he mad that she fucked Drake. He didn't marry her. And seeing that she was gonna do the same thing regardless, I mean, I don't understand these guys. A hoe gonna be a hoe. I mean, I don't try to bash the women as much, but the point of it is, a hoe gonna be a hoe. You know, if she's gonna be that way, she's gonna be that way. Yeah, that's what I'm actually getting to. But if she's gonna be that way, she's gonna be that way. You've already know. First of all, the entertainment, I put it in this comment section. The entertainment industry. If you're dealing with these chicks out of the entertainment industry, that's what you're gonna get out of them. You know, if you're dealing with a chick that's a hoe, what do you think she's gonna provide for you? She's gonna provide horse ways for you. You know, she's not gonna sit here and be faithful to you. She's gonna give you the bare minimum essentials that you need. Her looks, the sex, the cooking and cleaning that most of the men are always crying and screaming about. Roger said it best. Cooking and cleaning, that comes essential when you get married to a woman. If she don't cook and clean, pretty much, why are you taking fit? Why are you dealing with her? So that comes essential. When you're dealing with a woman, you're gonna want that cooking and cleaning from her. If she don't cook and clean, be honest, what are we dealing with her for? You know, I mean, to be honest. And with the women that actually, like I said, that are in that industry of being a model, she's basically essentially showing her body, showing her certain characteristics about her that's gonna, make her pop in that industry. And everything is already over sexualized. So you mean to tell me you're gonna deal with a woman that goes out every night, shows her body, take pictures and photo shoots, half naked in bikini suits and stuff like that, and you don't think no man is gonna try to holler at her? You think she's gonna be faithful? I mean, come on, let's be honest. You know, you got guys that got just regular women, you know, and they don't even know that they're fine. I mean, let's take for instance, I mean, there's certain women that's in the country, move to the big city, guys are flooding over these women. You know, it's one of my homegirls, she went up to Pittsburgh, her and another girl. And you know, she pretty thick. Man, like she was showing a video on her I think Instagram or something like that. Man, you would have think that this girl had like a body made of candy. It was literally so many guys all over her. And the other girl, I think, I don't know, she was the way the camera's angled, you can't tell unless she had like one of those sticks or something, somebody's recorder or somebody else. But you just seen so many guys just like all around her. She was in a corner, they, just spitting. It's like they was damn near there for an interview, and all of them was trying to get first dibs on the interview. And it was funny, man. I was laughing. Like a girl like that has a nice body, you got to know that comes with the territory. That dude who dealt with that girl who was an IG model, he should know at any given time a dude like Drake or somebody is gonna drop in her DM. You got ball play. I mean, you got average dudes dropping in DMs. And I was on shout out to Zero. I was on his panel, and he was talking about and I was Ty City on there talking about how um Birdman pulled up to a strip club. Well, Birdman pulled up to the strip club and had a Brinks truck come to deliver the money to the club. How can a man compete with that? You're not guaranteed that that woman is going to stay there after she looks over to the side. Let's say you're going into the club with her and it's not a strip club, just a regular club. But you have a dude come there with a Brinks truck full of money. You honestly think that this woman is going to say, "Oh, that's not nothing, baby. I'm here for you." This man just pulled up with a Brinks truck full of money. Let's say this guy might even be pushing $5 million getting out of there. These guys they puff it up. It's ones, so they might have 100,000 ones. They got 50 Cent introduced it. It's called like a block or something like that. You know, it's a block. Dudes come in the strip club with a cube wrapped up in saran wrap full of money. You know, I don't know. They call it. I know the body is for the weekend, but I don't know. I'll just say it's a block. A block of 100,000, probably $200,000. You know, but it's like you mad because your girl a IG model, and it comes with the territory. Guys are gonna be all over it. So if you're not happy with a dude up here jocking your chick, why are you dating her? Because she fine? That comes with the territory. That's like my wife, if she works and something, let's say she works for see something, trying to think of something that's not too bad, but it's out there. Okay, let's say my wife works as a lawyer. She's gonna be always around these dudes that are pretty much, you know, have issues. You're gonna have the occasional wire frauds, you're gonna have the occasional, little uh stealing stuff out of certain places. The little mediocre stuff. I'm talking about guys who, stealing like $10,000 worth of merchandise or something like that. The big time cases. Then you'll have these drug dealers. You'll have these big time drug dealers. And if she's into that type of thug life, she married you on the premise of you being some type of thug dude. You don't think that she's gonna be out here just messing around with a lot of these guys that's doing all this stuff? I mean, you got to look at it. Hold on, right quick. Yeah, but Turn on my AC. I'm actually driving now. But you don't think that your old lady, if she like thugs and all this type of other stuff, and then there you go, you met her thugging. She's around these little thug dudes all day. You don't think that's gonna be like a turn on for her every day? She get to go around dudes that she typically like and typically want to be around, and they, you know what I'm saying, all in her presence 24/7. You don't think she's gonna probably put on the seatbelt? But you don't think she probably possibly is gonna be messing with these guys? I mean, just that way. Same thing with, a dude who like, nerdy chicks. And this guy, he gets an awesome job of being a, engineer or something like that. And he's around women all day. They might be butt ugly, but he's into intellectual chicks, and then his old lady, you know, she probably let's say she a model. He just got with her because they were, high school sweethearts or something like that, cool. But in reality, he likes nerdy chicks. So he goes and get his dream job after graduating college and everything, and all he's around a whole bunch of nerdy chicks. That's his dream job. These are like the chicks that he's into. You don't think he's possibly gonna start cheating with these nerdy chicks? Same thing as those IG models. A lot of those women, they there for the money, man. I mean, a lot of guys want to play, blow smoke. I mean, you already know what it is. Those women are getting the bag. I mean, it's easy to go out there and take a picture and make yourself famous off of that because you got the looks. If you got the looks, why not use it? So a lot of these women are taking advantage of that. I don't fault them for that. Hell, it's most dudes who got the looks. They become models. Let someone tell you you got what it takes to become a model. And all you got to do is just walk into a room, get paid off of being you. You ain't got to do nothing extra. Probably just, get you a better haircut that you normally get. Keep your nails and stuff done. You ain't even got to wear just crazy outlandish expensive clothes. You can wear the basic clothes. Your face is the money maker. Put moisturizer, all this crap that other dudes don't even think about doing because that's your money maker. What's going on, Bitcoin L? But when it come down to it, man, it's funny. Like, dudes, you're not getting a guarantee on nothing. You're not getting a guarantee on a woman. You're not getting a guarantee that your kid is gonna always be there for you because if you don't raise them a certain type of way, when they get older, you be in that nursing home, they not coming over there. They're not fooling with you. When it comes down to it, you was mean when they was kids. So you disown pretty much, you know. And a lot of guys, I laugh at them, man, when they start coming on these panels talking about these women. Women are not choosing you, dude, for a reason. They don't like short dudes. They don't like certain tall dudes. Not all women like tall dudes, you know. So when it comes down to it, you can't get mad at a woman that's not choosing you. You're gonna look for the woman that wants to choose you, want to be with you. That's the funny part that I don't understand. Everybody won't be certain type of women. Go after the women that's choosing you. That's the guarantee. Out here running around with IG models because they look good. I mean, look at Drake. Drake is out here crazy, going wild. You got Boosie, man. Look at Boosie. Look how he had these parties and I mean IG stuff. All these videos with these, women wilding out like that. These are the women that these guys want to marry. I mean, come on, man. I mean, being honest, on top of all this, I know Roger about to get ready to go on, so I'm about to get ready to jump off in a minute. But it's crazy, man. You got these guys that are essentially trying to marry the women that everybody's just trying to stab. She bad. Yeah, I got people that I know. I was gonna say, but I caught myself. It's people that I know. These dudes are in relationships, and they steady up there looking at these fine girls on IG. You know, this little young dude I know. I'm just gonna say the least, a little young guy, and this dude, I think he's about to get ready to have a baby or some crap. Uh, but it's just funny to me how he's steady up here looking at this chick talking about how cool this chick is. And man, ain't never met this chick. Damn, love on, love wisdom. But it's crazy, man. It's like they ain't never met this chick. She just got fine pictures, booty popping out and titties, whatever. And he like, oh man, she bad. Would you leave your old lady for her? Boy, boy, would I? I'm like, dude, you gonna take a one night stand with this chick you just only seen in pictures, you know, to deal with your old lady. You've been kicking with her for a minute. You gonna sacrifice all that just because the chick look good. I'm like, come on, man, what we dealing with? Like, it's like they pretty much come to the matter. I mean, they pretty much come to it that if I don't get what I want, man, life is just not worth living. I'm like, what is this sucker stuff that we doing now, man? I'm like, I keep trying to grasp my head around this stuff, like try to make sense of it. Like maybe it's gonna be these people gonna grow up, you know. And like I keep pushing the way to wealth, man, is family, through your kids, through through your wife. Like I've told several people, man, you got an IG model, man, this chick might make $100,000 a year. My wife make 40,000, I make 60. Let's reverse it. My wife makes 60,000, I make 40,000. When it come down to it, my wife can't compete with that lady that makes $100,000 a year. She ain't got the money. Even with me being in a relationship with her, she can only compete so much on a level because she's in a relationship. She got to think about this man she's with. She got to think about the well being and understanding that if she throws some money out there to go get a Benz and we got kids, which the IG model chick ain't got no kids. She living her best life. She throwing her money to the wall, and if it stick, it stick. My wife can't do that. She got responsibilities in a relationship. The IG model, she whatever, busting it open every night. Let's say she ain't even doing all that. She got the money to where she could be celibate and just, out there partying with a girl, because all of them ain't out there busting it open. But the point of it is, the ones that are making the other ones look bad, and let's just say that chick, she balling, doing her thing. No, time goes over, gets old, she ain't got no money. She gonna start looking for a man to, subsidize her income. Far as you looking at a lot of these women who are making this money, they're not looking at long-term decisions. You know, you gotta be birthed this type of way. You gotta drop the shit on the floor. But you gotta be, brought into this type of mindset. Some people, man, like I tell my friends about life insurance. When we were young, we were talking about making money and stuff like that. The funny aspect of it is, he was like, man, I never learned about this life insurance job, man. It's crazy. I could have been doing this. I could have been doing that. I'm like, dude, it been there. All we got to do is just basically learn it. You know, it ain't something like this is some new technology about, when guys get into stock or something like that. Stock been around. Life insurance been around. It's all about who you around and who you're dealing with. Like I told you, I got a cousin, man. This dude ain't worked damn near going on 5 years. He had his own company for the first couple of years. For the first couple of years of his life, he worked till he started having kids. Once he started having kids, he ended up, what I'm saying, his mom was good with money. She owned her own store, which would be my aunt. And ultimately, she taught all her kids dealing with finance. She went to school for that. She went to school for computers as well, but mainly finance. Started her own store. Ultimately, times got a little hard, and essentially dealing with within our community. If you're not shopping with us, we're not making no money. Or if you got competitors come in with cheaper rates, they'll run you out of business. And the crazy part, when it all boils down to it, this dude ain't worked in 5 years because he said not because he saved all his money from when he owned his own company, because he actually went back into the workforce and worked at that job for I think about 5 years or so. But everything he told me was key how he saved the money. He said when he got a raise, he would always take that raise money, put it either in his 401k or the company profit sharing, because it was profit sharing throughout the company. So he would essentially, throw the money in the profit sharing of the company, and that's how he saved all his money. To where when it came down to it, If he didn't want to work, just like now, he don't have to work. You know, there's certain people in relationships, you ain't got no choice. You don't go to work, stuff ain't getting paid. You know, go ahead and do my shout outs while people coming in, but it's essentially if you don't go to work, stuff ain't getting paid. And a lot of people don't understand that, man. You know, they want to live their best life. You know, my wife, me and her talk, I always, get on her and people laugh at me and they try to come at me and when I be like, my wife got thought ways. Only reason I say that is because right now everything is like social media is pushing all this stuff to look a certain way in the image. You know, my wife, she want like the weave, the long eyelashes and stuff like that. It just looks good. You know, I mean, I'm not a woman, so I can't tell you how a woman feels when they put all that stuff on and look good. I mean, I could say putting on a suit, it looks, I mean, when I put on a suit, man, I feel like I'm killing the game. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, I ain't even got to actually put on a fitted suit. You know, a tailored suit that someone tailors a suit for me. I got my pants tailored a couple of times, but never got a whole suit tailored. You know, never got a shirt tailored. I got a homeboy, he got his whole outfit tailored. Man, best feeling in the world, man. Best feeling in the world. He talks so much about that, man. That's all he talk about is, man, that tailored suit he got. He's like, man, I spent this money on this suit, man. It was worth it. He said, I might not get another one, but man, he's like, you got to do it at least one time in your life. I got a homeboy like that. He's overseas, you know. He got tailored clothes over there, suits and stuff, and dress shirts. He got all tailored over there because he said, man, it's like dirt cheap. I don't know, one of my AC wasn't going on, but like dirt cheap and stuff. And he was telling me, he was like, man, bro, you gotta get on this. You know, that's how the women feel. And like I was saying about my wife being it, she wanted all that stuff, but when I tell her, I'm like, you're essentially beautiful without all this stuff. Like, why do you need it? And her thing always, she said, because it looks good. You know, shout out Temple, man. I already talked about the video earlier about Drake, man. And people need to go check him out. But like I said, man, it's crazy. Like you have so many women that are looking on here and they thinking that I have to look this way because this is the standard. Same as the dudes, man. You got ain't no different. That's why I be laughing when dudes be always pushing back on the women. Like, bro, you gotta hold some of these dudes' feet to the fire as well, man. Some of these dudes, they are trying their best. I mean, they got machines, all kind of pills and stuff for dudes to get interest. Who are you getting them for? I mean, I understand for guys who self-conscious, they can't deal with a woman like that. But for you to just be bigger and bigger just because, come on now. I mean, you doing that for yourself. You know, these are the conversations that's not gonna be talked about. I mean, saying on a lot of these panels, you're not gonna have guys. I mean, I was talking to a guy offline. Me and him was talking about this, about dudes who shape like women. You know, a lot of women they snicker and they talk about these topics and stuff like that. I've sit there and had conversations with women because ultimately I was just sitting in the room. And you sit there enough, you'll be like a fly on the wall to a lot of women. They open up, especially with a lot of chicks that be cool with them, and they thinking that he ain't gonna say nothing, he cool like that. Yeah, I might don't say nothing, but I'm glad I'm hearing these conversations. Like I said, I've dealt with older women that sit here and say, if she can look at a dude and tell what type of guy he is by the way he walked, the way he dressed. I mean, you could have a guy with bomb shoes, and she be like, man, this dude cheap because he won't even. I mean, you essentially going to the grocery store in some busted, rent down shoes. You know, got grass stains all on them. These might be your shoes that you go out there and cut grass with. You ain't got no grass on your legs or nothing like that. I mean, you going to the store in these busted shoes. I understand you went to the gas station. That's cool. Women look at that. Then when you turn around and say, man, these are just some shoes I just threw on real quick. Out of all the shoes in the house, you're gonna put on the worst shoes to go to the grocery store with. You know, that's what people gotta understand. Even with this space right here, image is everything when it comes down to it, man. A lot of guys don't understand. Image is everything. Even with Kevin, the way Kevin blew up off of looks, Kevin added another status. This whole high value thing that he talks about, this is not what made his channel. What made, see, I used to do marketing. And when it come down to it, the appearance of something, you can have the worst product out there on the market. But if you pushing it into a way that a lot of people look at the product, I mean, just not even looking at the product, just looking at the person that's representing the product. Coke 45. Billy D probably sold more Coke 45s than in the Jordan brand. Nike got their boost, dealing with Jordan and his brand. I mean, just the image alone of certain celebrities push like throughout. Just like with Pastor Cavassier. When Buster did that song, sales went through the roof, just straight through the roof. Come on now. It wasn't even about just drinking the liquor. It was just about him pushing that, that whole jump. Man, it's like the hypeness. Man, I'm about to go to the liquor store right now and get me a bottle of Cavassier because that thing was out just like that. You got dudes that are just pushed off that image, man. Like, man, man, these people like Cavassier like that. Hennessy. I don't even like Hennessy. I don't even drink brown liquor as it is. But to the point, I see so many dudes from the hood, all of them drinking Hennessy. And when I ask them, why you like Hennessy? Most of them hit that bite on that Hennessy and go, burning. But the point of it is, my uncle drunk it, my cousins drink it, everybody gonna drink it because it's like that's the hood liquor of choice, Hennessy. You know, and it's funny to me, man. Like I listen to a lot of people talking about. Like I say, I got a lot of different topics I want to push out, but I don't want to step toes of certain people I talk to within the space, and we talk about these things. And like I told them, I've been busy lately, so that's why I ain't been pushing that much content out, man. I was gonna kick one in real early before I, what I'm saying, get into work. And normally I talk in and out, but little situation at the job. I got to readjust, but I'm end up doing something else. I mean, I'm always jumping around with work, man, because I'm always finding good jobs, man, great money, taking care of my family. Like that's my big thing. My wife, I always be pushing the limit with her. I tell her, when it come down to it, I could be at home hugging on you, no money, and we happy broke, or I can go get this money, come right back, and we do what we do. Because that's one thing my wife know. In the end, I've always told her I'm putting her in a better situation, whether I'm here or I'm not. That's what the life insurance is for. Like I keep telling guys, Alonzo, y'all is slipping on Alonzo Hall, man. All the stuff that he's talking about with life insurance, I'm like, dude, like I keep telling people, I've done so much stuff that all these guys are talking about in the manosphere. I've been doing this my whole life. Like literally had a good family, man. Even though my parents passed at a young age, dude, I got good family that's around me, structured me a certain way. I got great old people that I've been mentored, man. Just being in the presence. I got guys right now. One of the old dudes I know, this dude like 71 years old. I'm kicking with this guy every other weekend. Man, we talking junk. He's showing me how to play these different poker games on the cards. Some called elevator, crisscross, uh what is the other the regular Texas Hold'em that everybody plays, straight poker stuff like that. Man, it's all kind of stuff, man. I've been playing tunk since I've been in high school. Like, I mean, really younger than that. I've been playing spade ever since I was in elementary school. I think my introduction to spade, my cousin, the spade champion. This dude, when we was probably when I was in a fourth, fifth grade, he gave us a notebook, a spiral binder. He told us to write at the first page in big letters, rules to spade. He showed us how to cut people certain ways. He showed us how to play off certain ways. He showed us how to read the cards, read the hands, count the cards out. If this person shot this person did this, you will understand. If you play so many games, you can tell what people are actually playing off, what people are actually playing high versus low, what people know how to read their partners. Like, dude, like I got introduced to that whole nother world. I'm talking about this dude, it was his life. Like all the most I think he's ever won, he went down to Mississippi. I know he played a couple, but up in Atlanta, I think the most he's ever won was like $5,000, and he got a trophy and junk like that. And this dude literally sometimes he could play with anybody because he'll match a person's strength or weakness. So it's certain little things, man. You got to push into that narrative, man. It's funny, man. But yeah, man. I'm thinking about to get ready to drop off in a minute, but like I keep saying, man, it's really no guarantees. You know, it's really no guarantees in this, man. You know, if you notice that you get married and that woman takes your money, why did you deal with her in the first place? Even if I ever get married right now, me and my wife, we already understand it. I'm not gonna just let her go without nothing. You know, especially if I have the most, I have this successful job, have a successful company. I'm just gonna kick her out on the curve and don't give her anything. You know, all these guys, man, she's gonna take your money and leave you with nothing. She shouldn't have to take anything. You should be willing to give. Man, I built this. Man, I no, you built it with her. It was when you was working the company, who you think was taking care of the kids? Who do you think was taking care of the family? She could have been sacrificed with no kids. She could be right there with you. Bezos, look at his wife. She was in that garage with him, you know, ordering supplies, moving stuff around. I'm comparing all the little stuff, the minimum stuff. She was there doing, answering phone calls. He wasn't answering the call, placing orders, doing all this stuff by himself. Same thing with this one company, Uline that's real big. It's a mom and pop business. Started off with husband and wife. I mean, they grew the company big. They worked at it together. If they get a divorce, that guy's not gonna harbor all that money. He's gonna give her a percentage within the company, like Bezos did with his wife. She gets a percentage in the company. She gets a nice size bonus. It's not gonna be a slew of money like everybody. She getting half. Why should she get half of the money? If you get a percentage of the company, you don't need half because you're gonna get this money. This like they call it mailbox money. You know, it's gonna be revolving. Same thing in marriage with alimony. You know, some people rather go ahead and do alimony to where they can give them every month or just pay them a one-time thing. You know, if you and your wife come to agreements where you have certain things worked out, it's gonna be a guarantee she's not gonna screw you. But if you married her for the looks and you can tell that she likes money and she's a gold digger, she take you to the cleaners, dog. So you already know you brought that on yourself. So if you know you coming into some money or craziness and you know you wilding with your chick, I'm just saying, she getting you, dog. I mean, unless you divorce her before you get that money, she getting you, dog. I mean, same thing with your kids. If you don't take care of your kids, it's not a guarantee, man, that them kids gonna be around for you. It just point blank. It's not a guarantee. You know, same thing with the job market. You go to school, if you don't put yourself in that position to get hired by a great company, that's gonna be your fault. You know, it's not gonna be no guarantees. I mean, you can work at a job, own your own company. You can have this company for years. If you're not doing what you take, you're not doing what you're supposed to do in order to keep that company afloat. That company is not going to survive. It was a company I was dealing with. I was working at. This guy was making money hand over fist. I mean, his guys were ultimately selling like crazy. I got in there, I was booming. And I was doing a job part-time, making the same amount of money as full-time guys. And the guy who I was working for, the manager of the company, he was shaming all them guys. He's like, why does this guy work part-time for me, make more money than my full-time employees, and they put in more hours than him? Because it was two ways you got paid. You got paid a regular salary, then you also got paid on commission by sale. So I was booming. Like literally, I was going ham. And my thing of it was I was wanting to do another business venture, which I think I should have stayed at that job till I started that business. But other than that, man, booming like crazy. And it got to a point where the guy who owned the company previously and it went down was because he was making the money, but he was pocketing so much. The guy bought boats, ATVs, like expensive pickup trucks. This guy had like three of the top expensive Dodge, Ford, and Chevy trucks. Why do you need 300 and some $1,000 trucks lifted up 6 and 10 feet high off the ground? All the bells and whistles with lights and stuff like that. I mean, come on. But I mean, like I said, man, when it comes down to it, the guarantee of life, man, I mean, it's crazy. The marriage, do what you're supposed to do, man. Deal with a woman that likes you, you know. Giving a ring, like I said, is not gonna make her be loyal. You gotta see that in her before you get married. I mean, you gotta see that. I mean, I don't know no other way of saying it. You got to see that in dealing with that woman, she's gonna be that way before. Go ahead and jump out this truck. But you gotta see that beforehand, man. You can't sit up here and think that this perfect life with this woman is gonna be obtained by, you just doing what you're supposed to do. I mean, like I'm just being a man. That whole I'm a man and woman should fall up under my feet stuff. Like, dude, that jump don't fly. I don't know who told you that being a man is like the end all, the be all. I mean, of course, you being a man that represents yourself is one thing, but just being a man is not gonna be the top thing that you're gonna need to survive and deal over women. You're gonna have to have a little more than that, you know, when it comes to those situations. When it comes to the topic of you know what I'm saying, getting certain things out of life, same thing. It's gonna be a little more. You can't just say I'm gonna be a man and everything gonna work itself out. No, you gotta put in some work. Go professor always talk about this, man. Putting in the work. 9 laws of self government, man. You gotta have discipline. Gotta have discipline. Rule number one, you got to have discipline. And when he talks about rule number nine, planting the seeds, and I always say watch them grow, but you gotta plant these seeds, man, in life, man, and what you want and what you trying to get out of life, and go from there. All this other stuff, man, that's bullcrap. You can't tell me that what you doing right now is gonna be successful forever to the end of time unless you're not, what I'm saying, putting in some real sure work on how things need to be done. And I see most guys in this space, they talk about relationships and stuff like that, how crazy it is. I mean, you got guys to stream, and they was talking about this guy that actually in the space that was he be talking, good little bit of stuff about women and how they do this and how they move. But in return, he went, crazy over, a woman that came on his panel that was, looking cool, I guess looking good or something like that. To the point, it's like you say one thing, but you do another. Like that be the biggest part to me, man. Guys who don't stand on their square, if you're gonna be about this, manosphere rough life and roughing, okay, and it's this weekend. Yeah, you're gonna be about this whole manosphere rough and tough and stuff life, man. You gotta be all the way in it. Don't be halfway. You know what I'm saying? Don't be playing around with it. If you're gonna be about that life, be about that life. You know what I'm saying? That's my biggest thing. A lot of guys who talk this talk about the manosphere and they gonna be crazy and going ham. They're not about that, man. They don't have no type of way of, scheming. They just, entertaining to me. Most of these guys only here just entertaining. So they can get someone to come over there and listen to them, entertain them, yell, talk about the women, they good. If they get someone to come over there yelling, talking about how men need to be respected. They're not really about this brotherhood of getting respect. Because if they really was, you'll be putting way more effort, man. And the accomplishments on what you're trying to do for the people, for everything else. So, like I said, it's kind of funny, man. If we building the community, we building these young men up. Why there's not more channels on guys, showing people, showing other men the proper way of taking care of families, showing other men the proper way of making money. Because when it all boils down, man, the money is the key. You know, in order to sustain life, I mean, it's just you gotta have the money. You gotta have the money, man. When it come down to it, if we're gonna be dealing with families and everything else, you gotta have the money. No, you got to have the money. We gotta start having these conversations. A lot of guys talking about